Hello traders, how are you? Vladimir Ribakov here from Traders Academy Club, and welcome to the weekly Forex review for the week starting on 11th of March till the 16th of March. Previous week was very interesting. We can easily split it by two. The first part was boring, was warming up. The second part was amazing. Many pairs that we have been covering on the last few weeks finally paid big moves. We have been waiting for the setups to develop, like the EURCAD, like the New Zealandian Canadian, etc., like the Euro Pound and the Euro Dollar by itself, right? Like the oil and more. They paid, and they paid a very beautiful move. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to cover and continue to follow up the pairs I have been talking about on the last several weeks. Because this is a following continuous scenario. We're not scalping here, right? We are building here the weekly plan and the weekly trading setup. So I hope that you will enjoy the video and my trading setups that I am preparing for this week. I believe that you will enjoy this video and find that beneficial and useful for your trading. If you do, please show your support back, hit the like button, leave your feedback on the comment section below. Your feedback, my motivation to keep doing that and keep providing you with the materials and with the quality that you deserve in the trading world and improve your trading. So let's begin. But before that, actually a very important note. On Monday, I will be posting and publishing the weekly summary PDF version. So come back to this video, and on the comments below the video, you will see comments from myself. It will be pinned with the link to the PDF file. My team is working on that, preparing that for you, so you can come back on Monday and see that on the comments below. Basically, we take the video and we put it in the PDF version, so it's easy for you to have the follow-up of our scenario. So let's begin. The euro dollar is the first pair. We have been looking for the sells, and the idea here is very simple. The euro dollar has this big cycle and these little cycles. One false break on the top right here, one false break on the bottom, which makes it into the range, possible corrective cycle, which means very simple. As long as the stop holds, we are looking for sells. Previous week we were looking to do that exactly, and we were marking the action zones right here, which you will see in about a minute in the next slides. Looking on the Fibonacci's retraces level, the euro dollar has a reasonable room according to the cycles to go and be traded below 121, I would say, down to 120, and also on the same time on the big view in between 117 to 115. So that's very possible to targets for the euro dollar, as long as we are traded inside this range and we don't break this high. That's the bottom line, sorry, for this pair. Now on the 4-hour chart, that's exactly what we've been doing from the previous week. On the previous idea, we wanted to see that rallying, and that's the action zones we wanted to look for sales. We got a divergence here, and the euro dollar is continuing the sell. So the bottom line here, as long as the euro dollar starts to create for us lower lows and lower highs, as long as it keeps this format, we would want to go and to see that into sell positions. So rallies could be go and look to sell. That's the levels, the immediate levels we would be looking for the euro dollar to reach. We can expect bounces from there, but we do want to see sell evidences as long as we are holding the stop. Rallies with bearish divergences, bearish trend line breakouts, right? So bullish trend line to the bearish side direction breakout. That's what we want to experience and see. Now take a look on the weekly chart. Basically, it shows you the cycle to have been bouncing here from the 61.8. But I also want to show you this cycle for one reason. If the euro dollar refuses to break it here and gain the momentum that we are looking for let's say 1-2 more weeks, this could be a very warning sign of lack of bearish power, and then we might go and clean the levels of 126, 127, and who knows, maybe even all the way to 132. There is also an unclosed gap on the same place. So The bearish idea is good for the short term, of course. For the long term, we have to be aware of this possible bullish scenario. Euro pound is one of my favorites, as you should know from the previous several weeks. The idea is very simple. Triple cycle on the weekly chart, bearish divergence on the weekly chart. That's a monster by itself, and a false break. As for myself, I don't need more reasons, but basically let me show you what it is developing. That was a triple cycle to the downside, a broken wedge into two waves, and now the euro pound is facing a false break over this resistance with a bearish divergence. So the ideal setup here would be to wait for the breakout of this trend line and go and sell the retraces. If you want to deal with shorter term directions and targets, we can play that a bit more aggressively due to the weekly direction. We had a false break with a bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart. We now create lower lows on the convergence. That looks simply stunning. This is the current trend line developing on a lower time frame. So every time we get closer and we have beautiful action zones there, we can go and look for sell evidences, sell setups with the systems or the trading strategies that you are using. What could happen here is also straight continuation down, then this will turn to be a critical zone, retest and continuation. That's of course a bit more aggressive, a bit safer view was explained. What's happening here was explained before on the previous view. Dollar yen, another great pair opportunity. I'll make it very simple here. We have two waves down. We have a bullish divergence on the weekly chart, and the daily chart provided us a beautiful cycle to the downside and a beautiful bullish divergence that was breaking to the upside. As long as this low holds, I believe we should be looking to buy drops. 108, 108.50 could be first target, 109.50 up to 110 could be using us as a second target. We have several beautiful zones to look for buys. So the break above that, for example, we should aim here, then back to these 1 or second action zones and further continuation. This is our idea. Of course, what it could do on the same time is two waves pull back and then another breakout, and we follow up this rally. For those of you who understand a bit of the divergences, if we get a scenario of here lower lows and here on the chart higher lows and here lower lows on the histogram, for example, this would be a bullish hidden divergence. In that case, we drop to lower time frames, we confirm this divergence, turn around, and you have yourself a very great potential to the upside. Dollar Canadian is following what we wanted to see from that on the previous week. 130, 131 reached, kissed exactly the 130 with this spike. This is a beautiful bearish hammer trend line we have here playing and confirming. Simply beautiful. This is a bearish divergence developing. So from my point of view, on the very let's say aggressive but correct view, as long as this top holds, it would be pretty good idea to go to lower time frames and look to sell rallies. If we break above this high, which could definitely happen, let it clean the 130, 131 zone once again, mark the last trend line that will be available by that time, and with the breakout, this would be the second confirmation for us for the sell scenario. Now, if you drop lower to the 4-hour chart, this is exactly the place to start looking for the sells. We have action 1, action 2, we have lower highs here, kind of a tunnel starting to develop, and you can see yourself where are the next action zones located. This is where we have very possible targets on the longer view. This trend line was broken. This trend line was broken. This trend line is the next destination that might bounce it for a short term, and then, as explained, we will be looking to sell rallies. All that as long as the last high is holding. Pound yen is another pair here. Very simple, bullish trend line, bullish hidden divergence on the weekly chart. On a daily chart, beautiful straight move to the downside, bullish divergence developing there. This turns to be kind of a fake breakout of the support zone, as you can see, which means it's holding. Bearish has no hidden daily has no bearish hidden divergence to the downside continuation. 38, 2 and 50 of this cycle were not reached. In the way I see that, pound yen has a bullish possibility, all that as long as this low is respected. And in that case, we are moving to the 4-hour chart. And what we see on the 4-hour chart, that's the beautiful zones, of course, we have. Any pullback to the action zones or to the area of a bullish hidden divergence should provide us another push to the upside. That's the way I see that. So I will be looking for pullbacks and possible buy opportunities on the coming week, maybe two. Pound Canadian, this is a monster from my point of view. According to the weekly cycle, we have reached the 38.2 correction, as you can see here. That's the weekly cycle. That's the 38.2 correction. According to the weekly bullish cycle, we spiked the 100%. The bearish divergence is there. The 200 moving average is there. A resistance from the weekly chart is there. The psychological level 180 is there. What can we ask more as traders? Drop to lower time frames, confirm that right there, and we can figure out that we have here kind of a monster. It could be broken into special cycle, into triple ascending cycle. The bearish divergence is there. We have a monster candle pattern, false break here with an arrow pattern. So we have high, low, high. Very, very, very rare and on the same time powerful condition in terms of the candle patterns. Again, you can see the high, the low, the high. This is a bearish arrow pattern right on the top, right of the divergence, creating a false break, simply stunning. This is a bearish engulfing. It looks perfect if you ask me. The way it behaves on the 4-hour chart. Whoa, sorry, wrong button. Created a false break here. False break is creating right on that top. The divergence on the very, very, very top. Yes, we don't have here any classical validation, but we do have the weekly, daily charts there. This is more than enough for aggressive or moderate trading style. So if we break the trend line and by ideal break this low, it would be simply amazing opportunity to go and look to sell rallies. So that's exactly the plan. Let it confirm and sell the rallies as long as the last top holds. And this is the CAD franc, a pair that I've been following for, I don't know, like 4 weeks. I've been waiting for the 161 level to be cleared, and it finally did. That was a monster engulfing creating during the week with the bullish divergence here. Look, and the 38.50 and the magnets right here. We have a room. So the idea here is simple. As long as the previous low holds, and after creating this fake false break, this is basically exactly the place where we got a buy opportunity. Now this bullish trend line was broken, sorry, the bearish trend line was broken. The ideal setup here would be like this, and then we probably should face some kind of 2 waves retrace and another bullish scenario continuation. I would be easily aiming the 38 up to 50 here, and that could pay, and could pay very, very, very beautifully. Bullish chart is supporting us here with the trend line. Weekly chart, sorry, supporting us with a bullish trend line and bullish hidden divergence, so that looks pretty good. And this is a bullish engulfing on a weekly chart. Looks perfect. So that's all about that. The EURUSD is my next pair that I have here, and the last one in terms of Forex. Weekly range, this is the top. We are right there on the very top. This cycle, triple descending cycle, coming to the end by bearish divergence. Simply amazing. This is a weekly bearish kicker on the weekly chart in terms of the candle pattern. On a daily chart, we have here a false break and a false break, so we do want to see that going and trying to cross this low to kind of confirm the lower low scenarios, and we will be looking to sell rallies. So from my point of view, we are anyway good to do that. We have a horizontal false break and trend on false break, divergence from weekly and daily. For aggressive, it is already more than enough. This trend line is about to be broken. So from my point of view, sell rallies. That's the plan, as long as the daily top holds. Silver is one of the very interesting commodities from my point of view. This is a very big daily range, as you can see with these boundaries. We have the bullish divergence here of this double bottom. So as long as it holds, we can start looking for the breakouts of this triangle, pullbacks, and buy and fly. But this triangle also could be kind of warning sign from the market for another push to have here the double cycle. If that happens, let it go to below 16, ideally clean this level and fly. The lower the silver can go, the better the buy we will have for the longer run here with the weekly and the monthly cycles. Look for that, because the way I see that on the coming period, not a week or two, for a long while, I believe silver could be one of the greatest investments. Just a personal view, of course, and yes, I might be wrong. So that's my view about the silver. Now to the German DAX, my view was to sell the rallies there. We hit the spot from this one. Now we are basically waiting for the new opportunity to form. We had a false break here on the bottom, exactly as was expected on the previous week. To clean this level, we have the rally. We could go and clean this zone before the sell-off. In order to trade it beautifully, we drop to the 4-hour chart, building up the extending cycle between the lows. And you can figure out we have a monster level here, here, and here. All that are Magnet zones. So as long as this trend line will hold, the rallies continues. Once we reach this area and the trend line is broken, I think it's a great time to start looking for bearish evidences. So the trend line breakout from these zones, then retraces and look for bearish setup with a system or strategies or your trading methods that you use. I think it's going to be beautiful. Not sure it's going to happen within the first days of the week. Maybe it will go and build it up during the week by itself, but keep an eye on that. Once it happens, it tends to happen fast. That's what we want to see. Bitcoin, a bit of the cryptocurrencies. We were expecting this pullback, push to the downside on the previous week. Broken trend line, retest, double retest, getting closer to the rallying trend line. From my point of view, this is just a game of patience and buy panic. That's all. The way I see that, as long as this low holds, I would be looking by myself dealing only with buys. Yes, we can go and create lower low here, kind of for a false break and to complete maybe a bullish hidden divergence. Definitely a possible scenario. But the way I see that, we should be start looking for the buys exactly on this zone 9 to 7,000. I know the numbers are very big, but for Bitcoin it's pretty much a game. Ethereum versus the Bitcoin, that's the one I was suggesting to follow on the previous week, and we got this trendline breakout with a bullish divergence formed there. That's simply beautiful. That's also the false break, and all that is coming after kind of a special cycle here. I don't know, from my point of view, this is an amazing opportunity. The risk is tiny, the potential is a monster. So I would be looking for the buys here. I am involved with the buys already, to be honest. So the moment we get a breakout here, we get a beautiful divergence. We had a false break, and we had a breakout of this high. It doesn't leave any doubts to me. 50% of the small cycle would be the first place to cash out, and then look on this massive opportunity for this pair, for this crypto pair. So the move up could be a monster here. And two more we have here. That's the OMG. It's like, oh my god, right? And we have here a beautiful pull back to the downside with RSI and MACD, more creating kind of the extreme thing here. This is 61.8 Fibonacci retrace from this cycle and a beautiful bounce. The current pullback is a V pattern. It's a bit dangerous to trade that. So if it manages to break the trend line, look for pullbacks on lower time frames and another breakout. So break in order to improve your risk, because currently it's pretty big. It's like $4 or $5 dollars per coin. It's a lot from my point of view for a stop loss. So we would want to see the pullback and on lower time frames to look for the entries there. Confirmation in the confirmation, the way it looks, I think it's one of the best. Plus OMG is one of the best investments from my point of view for the future. And IOTA came back to the 1. It's unbelievable. It was above 4 just several months ago. It's pretty crazy to think about it. It's still making this beautiful cycle. It's making a false break here. If it manages to hold that with this bullish divergence, I think that could be a very fantastic bottom. The best thing, of course, would be to confirm that with kind of breakouts, pullbacks, and look for the buys. I think they are pretty amazing opportunities. Many of the cryptocurrencies are very, very cheap compared to where it used to be just a couple or triple of months ago. And for those of you who love the volatility trading, and want to enjoy from some great opportunities, cryptocurrencies is one of these things. There are many more opportunities that are forming and building up. I'm covering everything day by day in the Traders Academy Club. If you are not yet a member, I invite you with open arms to join us and enjoy from full list of trading instruments, which is Forex, indices, commodities, cryptocurrencies, and stocks. When we have the best opportunities there, come and enjoy with us all the best opportunities the market is providing week by week, day by day. We have the live trading rooms, we have the trading setups in the trading reports. Everything is there for you, so you can come and trade, learn to trade real time. That's what it is about. That's what it is about. So if your trading career is very important for you and you really want to do that, I welcome you to join our family. The links to join and to enjoy from my strategies are below the video on the description. So that's all for now. Once again, if you enjoyed the video and if you find it useful, interesting, beneficial, please hit the like button, show your support back, leave some feedback. If you want me to cover any specific instruments, which I did not, I will cover that in the live trading groups, of course. But if you want anything specific, just leave it down on the comments and I will do my best to reply as soon as possible and share with you my view. And feel free to share this video with anyone who you think it can help to. I hope to be helpful for as many traders as possible. That's all. So thank you very much once again for your time. I wish you a fantastic trading week. I wish you the best. And I hope you enjoy your weekend. So I'll see you in the Traders Academy Club and I'll see you again on the next week with the weekly review. Thank you very much for your time. I'm Vladimir Ribakov, Traders Academy Club. See you soon.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate your time. We invite you to join the #1 ranked trading club online, the Traders Academy Club, and to start trading like a real professional. Our students make amazing returns, and you can do too. Let your successful trading journey begin. Join Traders Academy Club using the link below this video now.